Council President, this is a request to approve the transfer of funds from the FY23 salary reserve budget. The current balance in the salary reserve budget is $315,776.05. We front-loaded the salary reserve earlier this year to pay for bargaining negotiations and contracts that we settled with our bargaining units. That's the balance that remains. Part of the budget process that I executed in the last year and brought forth to the council included a reduction in the public works budget by $100,000. And it was done intentionally because we were funding a position that had not been filled for over 2 years. So I went to the public works director and said, if you're unable to fill this position, we're going to take the funding back and use it elsewhere in the budget. I did put and allocate that funding into the salary reserve when we did our budget calculations. He did subsequently hire a deputy director now, and that individual is now on board and been with us for a couple of months. But I do now need to put the $100,000 back into his budget. I would say that the tactic worked, and we now have a deputy public works director. That $100,000 will pay his salary. So I ask for your support on this measure.
Any comments or questions?
What is his salary?
His salary is slightly above $100,000. I believe it's $103,000, but I'll confirm and check that. But that was the number that we had, and he has the ability to. The public works director has the ability to pay the difference. That's because all I took from his budget was $100,000.
And he has been authorized to hire this position.
It is an authorized position. It was, and we were previously funding it. And then it would end up falling back to free cash. But instead of having that fall to free cash, I pulled that back and would have allocated those funds somewhere else in the budget if he did not hire somebody. But good news, we now have an assistant director that's helping Mr. Hollowell carry the water, literally, and lighten the load.
So maybe he will need less coffee.
Maybe he'll need less coffee.
Okay.
But it's still safe to drink.
Excellent, of course. Are there any other questions, comments? Seeing none, I will take a motion.
I move to send measure 2023-006 back to the town council with a favorable recommendation.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Having both, I will go to a vote. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 4-0.